Salaki, just making sure the camera's set up right. Shalom, Israel. We're the Dallas, Man Up GMS camp. And I'm Yadakai, by the way.
Michael Allen.
And first off, we want to just start off by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Double honors to the elders that rule well. And we know that those are the elders of GMS. And also peace and blessings to the brothers out there pushing this word in sincerity and truth. Now today, I just wanted to kind of do a quick lesson. Basically, we could just call it understanding prophecy is key in this truth.
Okay.
Because everything from us coming into this truth, believing, to making us have the faith to go out and push this word is through the understanding of the prophecies that the Most High gave us, Through the prophecies, that's how we gain the deep understanding of everything that's contained in this Bible. From just different things, the list goes on. Through the prophecies, we understand who the Israelites are and how we can identify these people today.
Okay.
We can understand who the other nations are through the prophecies. We can also understand who our enemy is, the so-called white man, through the prophecies written in the Bible.
Okay.
We understand that America is Babylon and that the destruction that's impending on America, we have a clear understanding of that through the prophecies. We understand who the Lord is, our Savior, Yahweh Shai. We understand things like reincarnation.
Okay.
We understand the signs of the times. And we also, it builds our faith too, when the Most High, manifest certain things that are spoken of in this word. Because just to start off, the word prophesy, the word pro means before, and phasai means to say before. So, first off, I want to get Revelation 19 and 10.
Okay. This Revelations 19 and 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am the fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy.
That's right. So the testimony of our Savior Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. And we know that the spirit is this word, and things that are written in this word is prophecy. So that's how we have a true understanding of the simple things to the deeper things of the scriptures through the prophecies,
Right.
And I'll kind of want to go off, I guess, starting out, like, for example, the biggest thing when I came into the truth, for example, one of the first things that blew my mind that I learned was the prophecies in Deuteronomy chapter 28 as pertaining to who the children of Israel would be today. That's a key prophecy. Even though we can go through the history and it's certain archaeological evidence and things of that nature that proves who these people are, who the Israelites are today. The key ingredient that pretty much seals the identity of these people is the prophecy. And one of the main prophecies pertaining to the tribe of Judah, the so-called Negroes who was brought to America on those cargo slave ships, was Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Matter of fact, get it.
I got it right here. In which happened to the so-called Native Americans also. They were brought to the old world.
That's an Ezra.
Europe.
Yeah.
This Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spoke unto thee. Thou
Hold on, let me stop you real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It says that the Most High shall bring you into Egypt again.
Mm-hmm.
Now we know through the scriptures that the children of Israel were delivered out of ancient Egypt and out of the hand of Pharaoh
while walking.
And also just using, I ain't gonna even say common sense, good sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can know that you don't have to take a ship from the land, from Egypt to the land of Israel. Right. You could just walk. You could take it by foot. Because Egypt and Israel, they border one another. Mm-hmm. So it has to be talking through prophecy about another Egypt, you know, which we know through the prophecies is America, you know.
Right.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
That's right.
For bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
That's right. And there's only one group of people in the entire history of the earth that went from one land to another by slave ship, and then were sold on auctioning blocks. You know.
That's right.
And that's who the world called the so-called Negroes, you know, which would be the tribe of Judah. And it says that no man shall buy you, you know, which that word "buy" it's an old English word for save, you know.
Right.
Because we still in this captivity to this day, you know, even though we don't have like shackles around our hands and neck, you know, it's more of a mental bondage, you know.
Right.
In an industrial or corporate slavery, you know.
That's right. Because all these, you know, you had all these so-called leaders fighting for freedom, but you know, post desegregation, man. You know, if you go to, you know, the black neighborhoods, they're hyper segregated, man. So much to where you don't have any, you know, we don't have businesses. We don't have our schools are terrible. Okay. To where, you know, and as far as what the brother is saying, how, you know, it's more industrial, you know, they make it seem as if, you know, we're so-called free and people can move up and things of that nature, man. But we know it isn't true statistically, and this shit is, like the brother said, good sense. Okay? We're still relegated to the hood. Okay, we're still, you know, deemed as, you know, the outcasts, the untouchables, for lack of a better term. You know, we're not just talking about the Negro here. We're talking about the, you know, the so-called Native American and the Latinos, man. So-called Latinos.
That's right, and that's an important point that you bring up the rest of the tribes, you know, because, you know, the nation of Israel, this ain't no some type of black power movement,
Right?
You know, when we speaking to the elect, we're referring to the elect of the whole nation, all the tribes, which consist of who the world would consider today so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Native Americans, you know.
Right.
Those are the Israelites according to the prophecies written of in the Bible. And also these things can be proved through history, but the key thing like we're going into is the prophecies. Like regarding the northern kingdom, the other 10 tribes, you know, it's prophesied that they would already be on this side of the earth.
Right.
You know, because after Solomon's kingdom split, you know, pretty much you had the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi in the land of Israel, but the other 10 tribes, they were already over here in the so-called New World.
Right.
And the Bible prophesied that. It's in Ezra. I think it's what, First Ezra 10.
Yeah,
Get that real quick. Okay. You know, so understanding prophecy, man, is so key in this truth. Even though, like even today, they're finding certain records, like I think in New Mexico, the Lost Lune Stone that has the 10 Commandments written in Hebrew. You know, that shows that the other 10 tribes, they were already in this land, in the so-called New World, before the so-called white man got over here.
Also, Glenn Beckett brought that out.
That's a good point. Didn't he get fired or something?
Well, he didn't get fired behind that. He got fired because, you know, he was so-called controversial. But he basically bringing out that the Native Americans knew Hebrew, you know, and spoke it.
I think it's 10:36.
First Ezra 10:36 or
Maybe
section 13.
Oh, it is 13. So
13.
13. Yeah, man. You know the prophecies though. That's it makes it clear as day that, you know, who the world refers to as the so-called Latinos and Native tribes. Those are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You got it?
Searching for it now. I believe it's in
43 or something.
like 43
Or 39. Just bear with us a moment.
Yeah, there's like the brother said, man. There's numerous archaeological findings that basically declare what the Bible said, and that's that, and also knowing that the Bible said that, man, gives us faith in this thing, knowing that we had the truth, knowing we had the truth, because without those two things and find those things out, man, you know, it would just be us up here just growling, man. But we know that the Most High blesses.
Okay, I found it. It's 13 and 40.
Right.
Second Ezra 13 and 40.
Numbers and 13.
Yeah, man. So, you know, no matter what all these contrarians, whether it's the so-called white man, these gutter rat Jews, these niggas, these lying pastors in these churches, man, we could prove completely through these scriptures, through the prophecies, that, you know, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans are Israelites also, you know. Go ahead.
Second Ezra 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so came they into another land. But they took this counsel amongst themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where where never mankind dwelt.
That's right. It's saying to another land where never mankind dwelt. Even though, like we know, during the time of Solomon's kingdom, he was sending his navy, the Phoenicians, over to this side of the land to get certain wood, certain exotic animals, you know, things of that nature to build up his kingdom. So, you know, Solomon, for example, he knew that, you know, there was land over here, but it was nobody at that time existing on this side. There was nobody inhabiting the land. Go ahead.
Right. That they might there keep their statues which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
That's right.
The Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
That's right. And it said, read up just from that last verse you just read.
Okay, you want me to
went through the Euphrates.
Okay, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river. For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood till they were passed over.
That's right. So right there, you know, it's clearly talking about when they was coming around like the Horn of Africa, you know, and those are known as like the most turbulent waters on the earth.
Right.
But it was all prophesied through the Spirit that they would have to come to this land. So the Most High held back those waters to allow them to make that trip over to the New World. You know. Go ahead.
Yeah. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Euphrates. Then dwelt they there unto the latter time, and now when they shall begin to come, the highest shall stay the spring of the springs of the streams again, that they may go through. Therefore sawest thou the multitude with peace.
That's right. And it says, there shall they be until the latter times, up to this day.
Right.
You know? So that proves also too that, you know, the so-called Latinos and Native Americans, they originally came from, you know, the land of Israel, just like the so-called Negroes, West Indians, you know?
Right.
We was all in the land of Israel, you know?
Right, that's right.
We, you know, we're not African, you know? We, you know, I think it's in that book From Babylon to Timbuktu, it goes into how, you know, in 70 AD, when the Romans came in and besieged Jerusalem, you know, the so-called Negroes, they fled into Africa, into the west coast of Africa, you know, fleeing Roman persecution, you know? But just to to bring up the point though, we can prove through the prophecies, who the tribes are.
That's right.
And also there's tons of scriptures in Genesis, that's showing like what each of the certain sons, of Jacob will be doing, up to this day.
Yep. Yep.
So you can't get around the prophecies, man.
That's right, and that dismisses all those you black Israelite groups. We're not black Israelites, man. We're Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
All you people saying that the Native Americans are heathens and this, that, and the third, man. But through prophecy, we know that those are our people, man.
That's right. Because even just on a spiritual level, if you could just examine the spirit, discern the spirit, all the people of the tribes, man, they may have little subtle differences, but overall, man, we do the same shit, man.
That's right.
We act and do some of the same things. And mainly, today, we have the same plight,
That's right.
Poor as hell, just languishing in the ghettos, the sickest people on the earth, the ones that get despised and looked down the most on the earth. You name it, the list goes on and on,
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, we're the people that bring forth the most to the society, especially America, man.
Salt of the earth.
We built up this place, man. If you take out, if you take out 50% of the nation of Israel, this place will just collapse.
That's right.
Because the whole workforce will be gone, and then we're the biggest consumers.
That's right.
And we produce and invent everything,
That's right.
But I don't really want to kind of go into that. But also, just going back to the main topic of the prophecies, we also understand who the other nations are.
That's right.
Like that's how we know that those filthy Africans, who they try to associate the so-called Negroes that came over to America on slave ships with, we know through the prophecies in the scriptures that we're not Africans, man.
That's right. Or even these so-called scientists try to affiliate the so-called Native Americans with damn Asians. Well, we know that those aren't the Israelites either, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stinking lie.
That's right, because man, contrary to popular belief, man, the Bible, like the Bible deals with nationalities. Every people on the face of this earth has a biblical nationality according to the Bible. And according through prophecy, if you understand prophecy, you can understand who those people will be today.
That's right.
So that's how we have a clear understanding who these other nations are. When you talk about the Hamites, the Elamites, the Ishmaelites, the Amalekites, all these different nations, the prophecy stated certain things that these people will be doing,
Sure.
In this time, also the one main nation who we're able to identify, who through over time, it's been tried. That information's been it's been hid basically.
Right.
It's been covered up, but through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah on down to the elders, teaching us that information has been revealed. Who our true enemy, who the enemy of the nation of Israel, the so-called white man, who we know according to the Bible as Esau,
son of
the
perdition.
Edomites. It's so many scriptures that prove that the so-called white man is the biblical Edomites that the Bible talks about. Because the Edomites, they always like a lot of white people, if you go to Wikipedia or whatever search results, they always try to say that the Edomites were done away with in Jewish-Roman wars,
Right.
and all of these different things. But we know that the Edomites are still here today.
That's right.
And those Edomites is the so-called white people that put the nation of Israel in captivity and have them in captivity even up to this day. And we know through the prophecies that they're our enemy. They're our main enemy. All the other nations, when we're in the kingdom of heaven, they're going to be beneath us.
That's right.
But Esau has a hell of a payback,
That's right. Because he rules the earth in wickedness, man.
That's right.
And that was prophesied. He was prophesied to do so.
That's right. Because even though, I guess, just on a good sense thinking level, you could identify Esau, because they're the only race of people, on the earth without pigment in their skin,
It's a curse.
They're the only nation of people without pigment in their skin. even if you the word human, you know, you can't even classify them as human because the word hue means color. Man, human means man of color, you know. So that don't even fit into the category of what you would call a human, you know. But there's many prophecies that we can go into of who the so-called white man is. Do you have something?
I have Job 9:24.
Yeah, get that.
Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof.
That's right. It says the earth, you know, meaning the rulership of the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. And we know through the prophecies in the scriptures that the so-called white man, the biblical Edomite, is the wicked.
That's right.
You know, like we know that wicked could also apply to 2/3 of our people or any of the other nations, you know. But when the Bible talks about the wicked, it's talking about the nation of Edom specifically, you know. Go ahead.
It's talking about a person, not a person, a group of people that have rulership, man.
That's right.
It says, you know, just reiterating what we just read, it says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. But the brother said, yeah, you know, 2/3 of our people are wicked and the other nations are wicked, but they don't have rulership over the earth, man.
That's right.
Okay?
Yeah, because just through process of elimination, man,
right,
you just go through down the list, man. And people like to get simple when you ask that question. But if you're just being honest, like, okay, are the Hamites ruling the earth?
Hell no.
Hell no. Are the so-called Chinese ruling the earth? A lot of people, a lot of white, because so-called white people like to try to say that. Well, they're, you know, they're producing everything and they're doing this and that.
But that's not true because their economy is still considered like a developing economy, man.
That's right.
They're not developed yet.
And they depend on America, you know, the consumer, the biggest consumer nation, you know, to buy the items that they produce over there, you know.
That's right.
But I mean, even when you just think about who has the most military bases on the planet Earth, the so-called white man, the whole power structure of the white man, they're inhabiting every piece of land on the face of the earth.
That's right.
So that's also a clear indication, you know, that the so-called white man, the wicked, you know, the earth was given into his hand by the Most High, you know.
That's right.
Go ahead.
If not, where and who is he?
If not, where and who is he? So the Most High is asking a rhetorical question. Because you just got to be just stupid and just simple if you can't understand that the so-called white man, the wicked, has complete control of this earth, you know?
That's right.
And I'm speaking as a whole, you know, because you got a lot of two-time losers, we call them Edomites, that are, you know, doing bad, homeless, you know, but we're speaking as a whole. The so-called white man, the so-called white race, and their power structure as a whole collectively, they have control of the earth right now, you know? They're controlling all the policy in all of these different foreign lands, you know? Even in aviation, you know, to be able to operate a plane, you know, you gotta be able to speak English, you know?
Yep.
That's the language of aviation.
English is the language of commerce, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, if, you know, you go into an underdeveloped country, they're pushing English. Like India, that's why you know, this is random, but you have a so-called call center. A lot of times they ship those call centers over there to India. You know, the Chinese they teach English in a class. You know what I mean? Africa too. You know what I mean? We could go down the list, but they push English because English is a language of commerce, of business. You have to learn it if you want to have some so-called success, you know, in this world. You know what I mean?
That's right. And the so-called white man's currency, the fiat currency, the dollar bill, is the international currency. You know.
Yep.
You, in order to trade oil, you have to deal in U.S. dollars.
Yep.
You know. So that shows that prophecy clearly describes who the so-called white man, the wicked, is according to the Bible. It makes it clear that they're the Edomites, you know. And there's other scriptures that we can go to. If you got something,
I have second
Thessalonians.
Thessalonians.
Go ahead and bring it out. I guess we. Yeah, it's coming. Yes.
Second Thessalonians 2:3. Actually, I can read up. Let me go to 2. Let me go to 1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and by our gathering together unto him, that ye be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, either by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that day of Mashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you yet you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
That's right. And right now, you know, that man of sin, the so-called white man, is being revealed, you know.
That's right.
Like that word reveal, read means back, veil, the veil, or to uncover, basically. All his wicked deeds are being uncovered right now, you know. It's starting off now with all this information coming out, you know, the true information about whether you want to go into these secret societies, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, all of these secret organizations.
Military tactics.
Military tactics.
Situation.
Yeah, all of this different legislation that's being pushed, you know. So all of the wickedness and the wicked deeds of the so-called white man is being revealed, and that's how we know through the prophecies that we're in the last days, you know. It's more than that.
It's more than that. Who oppress and exalt himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God.
That's right. So the so-called white man, you know, through the pride, and since the Most High has allowed him to rule, you know, with such brutal force for the amount of time that he's been able to rule, he's gained so much pride into thinking that he's doing these things on his own, and he's exalting himself above the Most High, because they're searching out the oceans, the waters, they're searching out the heavens.
They want to.
You know, or they want to at least. They're attempting. They're making a vain attempt to do so by, you know, putting up satellites to try to monitor every single thing that all the people are doing. You know, basically trying to make it like they have the eyes of the Most High. You know.
That's right. Yeah.
So you know that shows too that that's the so-called white man, because that's clear. You know, like in all of these. Since everything switched over pretty much in the late 90s from analog to digital, the white man has a way of tracking every single person, you know, through some type of device, whether it's a digital cable box, a cell phone, a computer, you know.
Yeah, and it would make sense for him to, you know, basically negate all those comes and processes and just chip you, man.
That's right.
Because he think he's God. You know, the white man believes that he owns you, man.
That's right, and that's gonna be the apex of his so-called inventions, of his whole enterprise, you know.
Which is prophesied.
Which it's prophesied. Matter of fact, get Job chapter 20.
Okay, when you about to
23, yeah. Because like we was going into with all the different surveillance, but ultimately he wants to chip everybody, because through that chip, then he'll have a clear hold on monitoring every part, every aspect of these simple people's lives, you know. But the Most High, right when he's about to do that, you know, has other plans for the so-called white man. Go ahead.
This is Job 20 and 23. When he's about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. That's
right. The scriptures say he shall flee from the iron weapon, and that iron weapon is talking about those ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles that are going to be shot off to America from countries like Russia, Iran, China, North Korea. Just like over in Poland, America's trying to install a nuclear missile defense shield. And they're kind of getting into it with the Russians about, I remember several months back, you know, because the Russians recognized that was a strategic position, you know. They was positioning themselves in the land of Poland to be able, you know, to war with the Russians. But the Russians, though, I also read that they have created something that can strike through that missile defense shield. So the Most High is saying through the prophecies that even though the so-called white man is going to flee from the iron weapon, that those missiles, they're going to hit their target still, because it's prophesied, you know. Go ahead.
You want to keep them going?
Yeah, it was something I was looking for, in the fullness of his sufficiency.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Was it a verses up? Yeah, so the so-called white man right now, you know, he's passing all these different laws through this bonehead Obama, you know, trying to get this new world order rampant, you know, to where the RFID chip is going to be put in all of these simple people. And then for the people who resist against the chip, you know, that's when concentration camps going to be set up, you know. And we know that through legislation like the Patriot Act 1 and 2, they're able to basically take away your so-called civil freedoms, you know, to where they can stage some type of flag terrorist attack and then be able to declare a state of martial law in these cities, you know. So these are just bits in just ways that the white man is trying to just slowly roll, you know, the apex of his enterprise, you know.
That's right. It was 22 as you reading up. It's Job 20:22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits.
That's right. The scripture said, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. So right when it seems like he's about to just do everything that they set out to accomplish, the Most High is going to intervene, because according to prophecy, which there are only a few main prophecies left before the Most High sends his son back, you know. And one of those key prophecies is that chip.
The chip.
You know?
That's right. And yeah, that's a cut to all you assholes, man. Basically, you know, talking down the elders for bringing that out, man. Because what are you going to do that day when they start pushing that chip, man? There's numerous articles of these that nature where they're basically getting ready, you know, to push that on people, man. Which they have it over there in those European countries, man.
That's right.
You know?
And, you know, like, you know, I guess on a smaller level, they have it over here already.
That's right.
Well,
animals.
Yeah, I'll say the technology, because I think Amashab Allah was saying, like, I think at like one of the grocery stores or the Zip Pass or something. It says it RFID on the back of it.
The Zip Pass.
You know, which RFID, that's just basically the name of the whole technology, radio frequency identification device. You know, but you know, through companies like I believe like Digital Angel and like companies like Positive ID, they're just gonna start subliminally making the people be able to greatly be willing to accept it, you know.
Right.
Like spreading off things like, you know, it's more convenient, you know.
Yeah.
You don't gotta go to the bank.
Situations like All-Star that have commercials where,
Yeah.
you know, you got in a car already, you can call somebody, they know exactly where your location is.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems safer.
Health records, like if you get into an accident or something,
Yeah.
and somebody can know like the things that you're allergic to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, what type of medications that you may be on, because that chip, man, it's gonna have your whole everything, every part of your life, bank records, medical history, criminal history, you know. So,
or even with these false flags,
Mm-hmm.
man, to where, you know, the internet is getting more and more marginalized.
mm-hmm.
Google and things of that nature, they all, you know, basically conglomerated.
YouTube, because really, like,
so, you know,
Google and YouTube, like, when you sign into YouTube, you basically signing into your Google and
Yep,
Gmail,
everything.
all of it's linked. And now I be getting just random like requests, like when I'm on YouTube, asking me, do I want to provide my cell phone number, you know?
Yep.
And I just be like, no,
yeah,
you know, just like, but they just setting it up like a database, like a data bench, where they're just gonna collect as much data as possible to be able to just track things more easily. Even though, like things online can be tracked through IP addresses if they really just want to monitor, you know. But that's pretty much the point on that, you know. Just proving how, you know, when the so-called white man tries to go into the apex of all his wicked inventions, the Most High is gonna intervene, you know.
Right.
And that's what we waiting on, man.
That's right.
That's why, you know, you guys in these camps, man, you should be watching these prophecies, man. You should be watching the news, man. You should be in the scriptures. You should be waiting for certain things according to the prophecy to happen, because that's gonna build our faith in knowing that our Savior, that our salvation is closer, you know. But just going back, you know, to the key point of prophecy, that's how we know that America is in the Bible, because scoffers always like to try to be simple and say, well, it don't say America in the Bible. Well, of course it's not going to say America in the Bible, you know, because that word America, what comes from a Roman general, Amerigo Vespucci, you know, but through the prophecies, we know that America's in the Bible as another name, Babylon, Egypt. Matter of fact, get Revelations chapter 11 and 8.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go into how we know that this sinful kingdom, you can get Amos 9 and 8 too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know that the sinful kingdom, America, is Babylon, is Egypt, is Sodom.
Yep.
All those wicked kingdoms that, you know, the Most High destroyed or had to go save the children of Israel from. We know through the prophecies, even though America, it doesn't say the name America in the Bible, we know that America is in the Bible through prophecy, you know?
That's right. Revelations 11 and 8, and the dead bodies shall lie in the city of the great, in the streets of the great city.
That's right. And it says they're dead bodies, meaning it doesn't mean like, you know, like literally dead. It means like dead, you know, because mainly pertaining to the children of Israel, you know, because they haven't waken up to this truth. They don't know who they are. They're dead, you know, because this truth, you know, it makes you a lively stone, you know, because in Ezekiel it talks about our people being dry bones, you know. It also says in Proverbs, he that wandereth out a way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of dead, meaning like a dead state of mind, you know, just simple, believing everything that's pushed out in this bullshit society, you know. But we're alive through Yahweh Shai and this truth, you know, through Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai.
That's right. Which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt.
That's right. Which spiritually, according to the Spirit, the word is called Sodom and Egypt. Why? Because America takes on the exact same characteristics as those.
That's right.
Those nations. Like for one, Sodom. You have a term in this place called sodomy, you know, which is like any type of like homosexuality or just perverse sex acts, you know, and that's being pushed on a great level right now, man.
Yeah,
that whole homosexual vibe, you know, like we was at camp last week and we had to endure a gay parade, you know.
That's right.
While we was out speaking, you know, so that's being pushed on that's being highly exalted, you know.
That's right.
That's how this place, how we know through the prophecies or through the Spirit that this place is known as modern day Sodom, you know.
That's right.
And the Most High, He destroyed Sodom because of the acts that they were doing in Sodom. And the Most High is set on destroying America, you know.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Where also our Lord was crucified.
That's right. It says where also our Savior Yahweh Shai was crucified, you know. And that means, that word crucified means crossed out. Meaning they crossed out the name, you know, where people got our people thinking that the real name of our Savior is Jesus, Yahshua.
He's Jesus, the successor of Yeshua.
Yeah. And they took down the true image of our Savior Yahweh Shai and put up the false image, you know, who we know is an actual man that lived on the earth during the Renaissance period by the name of Cesare Borgia, you know. So they in this wicked setup, Yahweh Shai, his name, his true nationality, it was totally crossed out. His true description, you know.
That's right.
Amos. Yeah, kind of.
Amos 9 and 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. Said that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Lord.
That's right. Most High is saying in Amos, behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom. And we know that America has to be the sinful kingdom because it pushes homosexuality. You know, women are set up to rule over men in this society. You know, you got all this different, all the different nations over here, you know, selling the nation of Israel and profiting off the nation of Israel over here.
That's right.
Also, this is the land where the nation of Israel has served captivity and was oppressed. You know, so this is a wicked, this is a backward, this is a sinful kingdom, and the Most High, we know through the prophecy, is set on destroying this kingdom from off the face of the earth. You know.
That's right.
Moving on. Also through prophecy, you know, we know who the true prophets are today.
That's right.
You know, because contrary to popular belief, the real prophets ain't gonna be in some church, in some harlot house, reading scriptures, which they don't even probably really read scriptures in these churches today. Or if they do, they're not breaking them down the right way. But the scriptures talk about that the true prophets will be men of the Lord, who will be out on the highways and the byways preaching the word and gathering the elect, the lost sheep, and bringing them back into the fold through this word. You know, that's how we know. And guys, even the guys scoffers, whether it be these other nations, whoever, they gotta acknowledge in their mind that, you know, the true men, Lord willing, of GMS are the true prophets. You know, because who else is going out preaching this word and prophesying against this place?
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Because the prophets back in the ancient times,
That's right.
get Jeremiah 28, yeah. Because the prophets that were prophesying in the ancient kingdoms, whenever the Most High was about to cast judgment on that kingdom, he always sent his prophets out to warn the people, you know?
To make their forehead hard against,
That's right.
you know, the people who they was condemning forehead, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
And just like in the time of Acts, you know, or, you know, any of the prophets that you read in the New Testament, all the prophets, all the disciples, you know, they were put to death, you know, for going out and preaching the word. You know, they were condemned, you know, they were hated on, they were despised. And that's some of the same things that we're going through, the men of the Lord today are going through, that's out preaching this word, you know. So that's how we know, that's a key indication how we know who the real prophets are, you know.
Got it right here. I'm gonna start at 7.
Kind
Jeremiah 28:7. Nevertheless, hear thou now this word that I speak, in thy ears, in the ears of all the people. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
That's right. It said the prophets of old prophesied against many kingdoms. So like when we on the highways and byways, people always like to say, why are you preaching hate? Why, you know, it's gonna get better in America. You know, it's not that bad, you know, but we not set up to lollipop and
To lie.
be on a rally to let's heal America, it's gonna be all right, because we know through the prophecies and the scriptures that this sinful kingdom is doomed to be destroyed. You know, it's gonna start systematically by the Most High collapsing the economy, and it's gonna lead ultimately until the nations set off these nuclear missiles. You know, so we're set out here just to really just tell the truth.
That's
you know,
right.
according to the prophecies in the Bible.
That's right.
And in doing that, we got to be set totally against this place, you know, because it's
That's right.
wicked.
That's right. I'm gonna read verse 9.
That's right.
The prophet which prophesied of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Most High has truly sent him.
That's right. So when things start happening, it's going to be known that the Most High sent him. Just even going back to the time of Noah. Noah was out there preaching over 120 some odd years, you know. And at that time, it had never rained on the earth. So people were just going about their life, like it says in Matthew, in 24, eating, drinking, marrying, giving into marriage, until that flood came, you know. And the Most High, you know, had Noah, you know, and his family protected. You know, he commanded Noah to build that ark. And right now, through the Spirit, that's what we're doing. We're building a spiritual ark, you know. Because we know the time of trouble and calamity is at hand, you know. And right now, we building out, preaching the word, we building a spiritual ark, and the elect is going run to it, you know.
That's right.
And Lord willing, if we're those elect men, we're gonna be saved from the second death, you know, because the flood was the first death. But all those people that scoffed against us, they gonna know that the Most High had truly sent us as the prophets when all these things start coming to pass, you know? You got something, brother?
You alluded to Matthew 24, so I got it.
You might as well get it, kind of.
Matthew's 24 and 36. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
That's right. So that the Most High prophesied in His Word, you know, for your elect men who are hastening the day for the kingdom of heaven to come, you know, that builds our faith, you know.
That's right.
Whenever you see something on the news like North Korea doing this, Iran, they're about to do this, man, we be on edge. We be like, man, get this thing going, you know.
That's right.
When even like when they talking about, when we see little subtle signs that the chip is getting closer, you know, we just like, man, we in our spirit, we like, come on, you know, because we know through the prophecies that when certain things are to happen, that means our salvation is drawing near, you know. Get Isaiah 55.
Isaiah 55 and 11. So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please.
That's right. So anything that the Most High has written in His prophecy is going to come to pass, you know. The Most High says He puts His word above His name, you know.
Yeah.
So anything that's written in the Most High's word is going to come to pass. And brothers in the truth, Lord willing of the elect, when we see certain things of the prophecies manifest, it also confirms that what we're reading about, what we're learning about, it qualifies it to be truth.
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
If anybody, like if I was to tell you, okay, in the next 2 hours,
Get knocked on the door.
somebody just random that we ain't talked to in a while is gonna knock at the door,
Mhm.
and they do it, you're gonna be like, that's true.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna qualify it in your mind that that's true.
Right.
You know?
You have to ask, you know, how did that person know that was going to happen? You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying? You know, alluding to prophets. That's how you know. No, not to go on a rant, but that's how you know that there's the Most High. That's how you know that Yahweh Shah was, you know, the Most High's son, because he was, his actions, what he was saying, and what his actions and his words was producing, man.
That's right.
You know.
Well, yeah, finish
Okay. But it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it. For ye shall go out with joy, and be led forth with peace. The mountains and the hills shall break forth before you into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of the throne shall come up the fig tree.
That was pretty much the point.
Yeah. Okay.
But the point is that anything that the Most High, through his prophecy of his word, is going to come to pass, and it's going to accomplish everything that it's set out to do.
Sure.
So, get Isaiah 54 and 16 real quick.
Okay.
So, like, when we see all these different nations, you know, building up their nuclear, arsenals, we know that through the prophecies that those weapons are going to be used. Like the elders and many other brothers always say, those weapons are not going to be stored in no museums.
Right.
The Most High is putting the spirit on these different nations to build these weapons to be used, you know, in the coming World War III.
That's right.
You know? So that's a key indication that the word of the Most High doesn't return void, but it's going to do exactly what it was set out to do, you know?
Yeah. Isaiah 54 and 16. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
That's right. The scriptures say, behold, I have created the smith. Now, back in the ancient time, a smith was known as like an artisan of metal, you know, making different weapons, swords, armor, you know. But today, the modern day smith would be like these scientists, you know,
Right.
or nuclear physicists, you know, that are, you know, learning how to ways to split the atom.
That's right.
Learning about nuclear fission, you know, how to create these nuclear missiles, you know.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And I have created the waster to destroy.
That's right. The Most High say he used those scientists today to create the waster, which is the ICBM nuclear missile, to destroy it.
That's right.
And one of the main places that it's going to be set out to destroy through prophecy is this wicked land known as America. Just alluding back to Amos 9 and 8.
That's right.
You know? Go ahead.
No weapon that is formed against
Nah,
thee.
that's the point.
Yes,
that
the point.
kind of
Okay,
goes into
good.
something else. But you know, that's pretty much the point that I wanted to bring out. You know, is just as far as prophecy goes. You know, through prophecy, you know, so much of this truth, you know, is just brought to life.
That's right.
And things are just made crystal clear.
That's
You
right.
know, and also it builds faith. You know, and it also instills fear. You know, when you see certain prophecies that the Most High has through His Word manifest, you know.
That's right.
And you know, I wanted this to come out. Sirach 39 and 1,
Okay.
and then we're gonna get the scripture you want, Isaiah 33 and 6.
Okay.
So I had that.
Okay.
We'll kind of wrap up with that. And if you wanted to come and say something,
Nah, bro. You do anything. Sirach 39.
39, start at the top.
Okay. Sirach 39 and 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy.
That's right. So, you know, that's, you know, hopefully we're, Lord willing, we the elect men, and as those elect men, we should be occupied in prophecy. You know, doing things to get your mind prepared for these coming woes and calamities, man. Because the Most High is about to start turning up the heat more and more, you know. Like we know through the prophecies of the scriptures that some of the brothers in the truth, man, some of us might die for this thing, man. You know,
some of us might not make it.
Some of us might not make it,
some
man.
brothers about it, which is happening now. You know,
more brothers gonna fall out,
man.
You know, we always have to keep going into that.
Most High willing,
because the Most High is gonna make these camps. We've been talking about that. The Spirit's been on us to talk about these camps. They're gonna start getting smaller and smaller because the Most High is steady sifting and He's weeding out, you know, the riffraff. You know, and at the same time, He's purifying His elect men. You know, because in these times to come, the Most High is gonna have to try us and purify us to have us prepared for what's to come.
That's right.
You know, to prepare our mind for resisting the chip, because we don't know what we're gonna do. We don't know where our spirit gonna be at when it's really put it at us like that. You know, when we have to face with accepting the chip or not. Brothers can say all day, hey, you know, I ain't gonna accept the chip, but you don't know how your spirit gonna react when you put in that position. You know, and that's why you gotta be occupied in prophecy and praying to the Most High and having faith.
True.
You know, that the Most High keep the righteous spirit on you. You know, and a bold spirit on you, you know, to do, to be righteous, you know, even through those temptations like that, you know, because knowing the prophecies, having the understanding of this word, man, that's the things that's gonna prepare our minds, and that's ultimately that's gonna be what saves us, you know, in these coming calamities, you know, having a watchful ear, watching what's going on through the news, always kind of getting more information on what legislation the so-called white man is passing, you know, so you can just gear yourself up to be ready, you know.
That's right. This is Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Most High is His treasure.
That's right. It said, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And, you know, one of the main ways, like we've been going into in this lesson, that you're going to gain wisdom and knowledge is through the prophecies, you know. Meditating on the prophecies, praying to the Most High for more understanding of the prophecies written in this word, you know.
That's right.
And those things, as you see certain things happen, that's going to build your faith. And, you know, you'll truly understand why the Most High is doing certain things, you know. And that's only going to purify you and make you stronger, you know, if you're a part of the elect, you know.
That's right.
And you'll be made strong, and that'll be your strength of salvation, because at the end of the day, that's what we're all in this thing for, is to get on a chariot. It's being delivered, having salvation, you know.
That's right.
So with that, I mean, that's all I had to pretty much bring out, you know. Prophecy, you know, is key, you know, to understand. Is understanding prophecy is key in this truth, you know.
That's right.
So, you got anything you want to say? So with that, you know, like we always gotta say, all praises to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Double honors to the elders that rule well, and peace and blessings to you brothers that's doing the word in sincerity and truth, and shalom and man up.
Shalom.